journey. So we are taking up the third sutra. We started with the natural state. I believe you all remember in this series that natural state is, yes, Sam has come. So that natural state is the kingdom of a God within us. So we also understood how that natural state is destroyed by the desires. So we understood the psychology of desires. Then we understood that how these Yoga Sutra is written, and we have to open up. We have to open the zip file so that there are many principles. The first sutra we understood that yoga is the highest state of mindfulness, but it is the characteristic of the mind. But the mind lives in five subjective states: lazy, crazy, obsessed. As long as this mind is lazy, crazy, and obsessed, forget about meditation. No possibility. So it means we have to prepare the mind to enter into a meditative state. So last two states we can easily get absorbed into a meditative state. So what is that state means? That you live, work, think in that state of meditation. So understand, studying the books like a fiction and acquiring the knowledge and passing on that knowledge is an academic way. It is okay. Even that is better than doing nothing. But to contemplate and reflect on those principles in the sutras is very important to bring about a change in our life. So then we studied a couple of sessions. You know what we studied? Yoga is emptying the mind of its content. Do you remember that emptying the mind of not all the contents, but emptying the mind of its contents that causes the problem, uh, that causes our stress and anxiety, duality, and a conflict. Now the third sutra. You see that fourth sutra completes the entire yoga. Yoga is a discipline and education of the mind. Yoga is emptying the content of the mind. So what is the result? That is the today's sutra. It says tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. When we empty the mind of its content, now the mind is acting like a transparent mirror, like a calm water in an ocean in a full moonlight, and that moon reflects in the ocean. Then we can see that is what happens in the third sutra. When we empty the content of the mind, then the mind reflects our real nature. But how do we understand in daily life? Yeah. So my master used to tell us a story. There, in ancient India, we had maybe 200 kingly states. Means, we had more than 200 kingdoms. And there are good stories about good king who used to fake their appearance. They used to become a beggar and used to walk in the streets of their kingdom to find out where is the problem of my citizens. So one king in the garb of a beggar was walking, and the citizen recognized, "Oh king, what happened?" So king whispered in his ears, "Stop this nonsense. You do your work. Don't tell anyone that I am a king." and he used to collect all the challenges the citizens used to face, and he used to return his palace, and then he used to order. Now question is, we take a garb of an employee, employer, father, son all the time, provided we realize that we are a king. Do we really realize that we are a king? That king is our real nature. Once you realize your real nature, it is irreversible process. You cannot reverse it, even if you want to reverse it. So, king used to take a garb of a beggar, used to take a garb of a shopkeeper, used to take a garb of an employer, an employee, and used to understand. That is the way we have to live in this world. Continued, but provided, do you realize that you are the king? That's why how I remember, kingdom of God is within you. What we realize that we are beggars. Beggars means expectation. Beggars mean living in the first three states of the mind. That is the way. So the moment I wake up in the morning, ask yourself, am I the king? Or the mind is living in the first three states of lazy, crazy, and obsessed. Because if the mind is living in the first three states, early when you wake up in the morning, then it becomes a bad morning. Then you become upset. Then you have emotional upsets. Even Sam, appear in the interview, but appear in the interview like a king. Appear. You already know, that's why you have applied for a job. So I should focus on the knowledge I have in the state of calmness of the mind. Finished. So we have understood that we should not keep the mind that continues to trigger inside me, that causes the anxiety. What will happen? Nothing will happen. Nothing has happened in our life, if you see that. Whatever has to happen, it will happen. That is what we understood in the very first talk and practice, Uttama Sahajavrati. The mind should live in the natural state all the time. And by default, this mind is the king. This mind is the king. If you have no problem that causes the pain, pleasure, sorrow, happiness, and reaction, attachment and detachment, then what is? Do you need any medicine? No. So what is the disease? Patanjali says later in other sutras that being upset, pleasure and sorrow, pain, attachment and detachment, anxiety, running after the things is nothing but like a fake disease. Do you know what is the medicine of a fake disease? One word is used as placebo. Yes, I saw the movement of Jari, placebo. So we have to use that placebo in the form of a practice until that fake disease is gone. Why Master says it is a fake disease in Gita? Because we don't see the reality. That is why I am anxious. I don't see the reality. That is why I experience the pain. And that is why Patanjali says, what it says, Tada drashtu swarupe avasthanam. Swarupe. my essential nature. The moment the mind becomes empty, I settle in my essential nature. I realize my essential nature. I awaken to my essential nature. And what is that essential nature? Peace and happiness, love and wisdom overflows. Buddha once said that I cannot prevent myself to move with compassion, love. Why? Because he realized his essential nature. I remember one more thing. We use the word nirvana with reference to the Buddhist philosophy. What is the literal meaning of nirvana? You burn a candle, there is a flame, and you put off this flame. So, what is the symbolic expression? The mind is running here and there in anxiety, in duality, and in conflict. That is the flame. You put it off. The mind is gone. You enter into the highest state of meditation. We also understood in the previous talks, I remember, sa vidyaya vimuktaya. What happens in that meditation? The knowledge of the reality dawns. It reveals I need not to think. And once the reality is revealed in the mind, and there is a spark, there is a glow, there is a light of that peace and happiness. I need not to chase it. We are a king. Question is, do I always remember that I am a king, or other choice? Do I live with the fake disease, or do I live with my reality? That is the meaning of this verse. What it means? That the real nature is always within us. That kingdom is always within us. There is another meaning also. You come to my house and I get upset. Point of awareness. Let me withdraw the mind inside me and tell the mind, you are responsible for sorrow and happiness. No one in the world can make you upset. So you raise your awareness, you move your mind from the laziness, craziness, and obsession to the fourth state, and ultimately you realize that here is the reality. Now I give you some tweak and then we will start our practice. That real nature cannot be realized through the sense organs. If any object is in front of me, then only I realize what is that object. You all are in front of me, so I'm aware of it and I have a knowledge. So this is known as a direct knowledge. The mind goes through the senses and acquires the knowledge of the object. If the object is not present before the sense organs, I cannot know the object. Are you clear on this point? Then I close my eyes and I think about atom. Where I'm thinking? Mind. Atom consists of electron, proton, and neutron. Sorry. And so what I'm thinking in the mind. These thoughts are also present in the mind, but it is an indirect knowledge. Clear? Two types of knowledge. Sense organs gives us the knowledge of the world, The mind is also an instrument of knowledge that gives me the knowledge of the phenomena, material phenomena, the objective reality. So, one master I used to go, he says, find out that your mind should stop acquiring the knowledge of the world outside, neither through the sense organs nor through the mind. Then what will happen to the mind? Mind will say, when you say that I should not use my mind to acquire the knowledge, then no thoughts, no objects. Then what happens? Objectless state. And what is that objectless state? Is meditation. I am aware. Only there is a awareness. Now see that what is our real nature? It is here and now. That is what we are studying in Saturday's session. So we have to compare our mind, how our mind responds. Do you say that I am means I exist? Don't allow the mind to bring in any thought that I am Sam, I am Lara. No, I am. Still I am. Clear? Now the second part is I know I am. So there are two things. I am is known as existence. I know I am. I know I am. What is this? This is knowledge, this is consciousness, this is awareness. Are you getting it? I am, only I am. Not I am Girish, I am Jerry, I am Lara. So the moment you add something, that knowledge, name and the shape and the size and the profession, all comes from the mind. Hold on the mind. I am, I exist. Second part. I know I am. So that knowing is consciousness, awareness, knowledge, sensation, experience. We use different words in different times. I know. First is I am. Then only I say I know I am. And third is little tricky. Who is this I am? I am is pure consciousness and awareness, because that I am is all pervading. That I am is only one thing that exists. Means what? When I see this even deeper inside, it is I am. Lara, I am. There is a non-dual consciousness. There is only one entity that exists behind the appearances. Then what will happen? Then I am of the nature of Ananda. If there is no two, then if there are two, then only the conflict appears. Then only we say, I'm a man, you are a woman, I'm smarter than you, but now that non-dual state of the knowledge and the consciousness. This is the meaning of real nature. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Existence, consciousness, bliss. Last part I think I talked about it. Ananda. Nanda means joy, and if we add prefix, it means that joy is coming from all the sides, in all the directions, at all the time, because I see the reality, the real self within me. It is your nature that you are angry. It is my nature that I am in Ananda. Can you make a difference? I am dictated by the mind because of the trigger coming from the outside causes the fake disease. We have to get rid of this fakeness. How it comes? Because of the three states. lazy, crazy, and obsessed mind. The last two states of the mind can alone help us to live into that state of meditation 24 by 7. And this is within me, after all. This is within me. My master used to say, are we king? And once you are king inside, you will remain king. But the moment that king goes into the world, it has many appearances. But you never forget that you are a king. That is the realization of our true nature. So, we will practice and then we will share our experiences. So, let us start our journey.